Hurricane Idalia unleashes devastation as it moves across Florida and the Gulf Coast. Idalia made landfall as a Category 3 storm with punishing winds and heavy rain, leaving floodwaters and plenty of damage in its path. Right now, 4 different states are dealing with the massive power outages, flooding, and of course, destruction.
Officials say there have already been 2 people who've died because of this, but the storm is far from over. With more on the effects of Idalia, here's Fox's Caroline Shively.
For coastal Carolina, this is a very different type of storm. Instead of tracking in from the ocean, Idalia is attacking from the land.
Hurricane Idalia hit Florida's west coast as a monster Category 3 storm early this morning, bringing with it record-breaking storm surge.
This is the real deal. You have people's lives that have been at risk.
Idalia made landfall in the Big Bend area of Florida, where the Panhandle meets the peninsula, then kept right on rolling.
Look at this. This is crazy.
Pounding Georgia, then South Carolina, and now headed toward the North Carolina coast.
This is going to be a terrible event for North Florida into South Georgia. We've been focused so much on Florida, but the Carolinas and southeast Georgia are also going to feel this as a massive flood, we think.
It will be a much weaker storm that roars through North Carolina than out to the Atlantic. But tonight is a supermoon at its closest orbit to the Earth, making its gravitational pull stronger and high tides even higher.
Tomorrow morning, when the storm hits and the high tide, that'll be the worst, with the worst flooding we will see.
Federal officials say they're ready to aid in the recovery.
We have over 1,000 personnel currently deployed, prepared to support not just Florida, but all of our states that are in the path as needed.
Idalia is forecast to roll over us early tomorrow morning. Best case scenario, that happens closer to low tide, which is 3 a.m., than high tide, which should come about 9 a.m. In Curry Beach, North Carolina, I'm Caroline Shively, Fox 2 News.
And as we continue to track Idalia, 2 Metro Detroiters are currently stuck in Florida.
Fox 2's Hillary Golston spoke with them about what they are experiencing as they hunker down. Hillary.
Yeah, Taryn and Roop, Olivia and Jeremiah sent us some of these images you're seeing of what they've been seeing in St. Petersburg, where they're trapped by the storm. And they were in Florida to find their client a house. Someone is relocating from Michigan to Florida when they got the call that everyone just had to evacuate. I bet you those clients are thinking twice now. All they had was their rental car, their suitcases, and sadly, nowhere to go.
Palm trees broken down by the sidewalk, so you can't cross the sidewalk. Cars obviously flooded to their doors. Just a lot of debris for the most part.
And along a large section of the Gulf Coast, Idalia's intensity exemplifying just how bad a hurricane can be when it makes landfall. Streets transformed into waterways, houses submerged, boats just floating away, power lines down.
Oh, Fresco's is under.
Oh, no.
When I went down and looked at the marina this morning, which is St. Pete Municipal Marina, all of the boats were about 3 foot higher than the top of the docks. Just making sure there's enough line to hold their boat or not hold it under. I mean, there's just a lot of stuff that you just kind of have to hold onto your seat and hope for the best.
Olivia and Jeremiah are still hoping for the best in St. Petersburg. They're from Metro Detroit and didn't realize what they were in for. Hurricane Idalia made landfall as a Category 3 storm. The pair caught right in the middle of it. Around 1 p.m. Wednesday, the National Hurricane Center said there were maximum sustained winds of 80 miles per hour, which is intense to be certain. Were you all caught in anything like that?
We were. There was a point where I actually reached back for her because
You had to like pump your arms through the wind. It was so windy.
Well, they have a place to stay tonight, but the habitable hotels are pretty much full, they tell me. So right now, they're in wait-and-see mode. Are you guys going to just hunker down for a little bit and see what comes next? Is that the plan?
Yep, no plans at the moment. We've been in the hotel room, kind of walking around, just exploring, seeing if there was any damage.
And in a situation like this, keeping a cool head, like these two are doing, is probably the best way to go.
It's always good to be prepared. Make sure you're prepared for no power, you have your food, and you have a good support system around you, because that is what's going to get you through this mess.
So I thought thought this was a really interesting anecdote. They were right near the boardwalk just yesterday. They had 6 feet to the top of the seawall, and this morning the water was 6 inches over top. People had left their cars there, and they're thinking actually they might be able to stay local as long as they can to complete their business trip. The hotel that they're in is about 30 feet above sea level, which makes them feel pretty fortunate, as you can imagine, Rupert Taryn.
Yeah, we wish them both well, and anybody else who's out there right now. Hillary Golson for us. Thank you. Metro Detroit volunteers are heading to Florida to help with emergency relief efforts.
Volunteers with Disaster Relief at Work, or DRAW as it's known, started packing boxes with supplies bright and early today and then loaded up a van that will be heading to Florida to help people impacted by Idalia. DRAW is donating tarps for the roofs, cleaning supplies, and flood bags.
While somebody's having a disaster, we're helping them out. And this is preparing for the hurricanes in Florida. And when you go down there and you drop stuff off to people at their worst time, it's a smile on their face. And it's great.
The drive to Florida there is expected to take 17 hours. If more supplies are needed, DRAW volunteers will return to Waterford to load up again and then head back. Well, you stepped outside today. Wow, what a difference. You felt like fall. It was definitely a chill in the air.
Yeah, a chill and good sweatshirt weather this morning if you were taking your morning walk. But temperatures will soon be back on their way up. Don't worry, all our summer lovers out there. Rich Luderman says those really hot temperatures are coming back. But right now, you're looking at what the whole nation's looking at right now.
Yes, Rube and Taryn, a big warm-up coming for us this weekend. But here's the latest on Idalia. Tropical storm now inland over eastern Georgia. Notice all the torrential rainfall over the Carolinas, especially around Charleston, Myrtle Beach, up into Wilmington. So more threats continue, including flooding and that tornado threat, even as it weakens. How about live pictures from Myrtle Beach? You can see it's blustery there. Temperatures in the upper 70s. Notice for us, 67 here. Yes, there is a bit of football in the air for southeast Michigan, even cooler up around Alpena, 63. We're going to get all the way down to 50 degrees. That'll be the overnight low. Check out that super blue moon after moonrise. That'll be close to 8:45. Go out there and take a look. You will be impressed. And then this long dry stretch continues into the weekend and beyond. Use that sunscreen this weekend, and that means sunshine in the forecast. We'll check the numbers for you coming up in 10. Taryn, back to you.
We'll talk to you then, Rich. Well, Governor Whitmer is outlining her wish list for this fall. Today, the governor delivered what's dubbed the What's Next address to state lawmakers. Among her priorities, passing the Reproductive Health Act and lowering the cost of health care and prescription drugs. The governor also called for paid family leave and for improved election security.
Our plans are ambitious, but they're achievable. Let's get them done so we can build a bright future for Michigan.
And we will have more on the governor's remarks coming up at 6 o'clock.
We have an update now involving the Dearborn fire chief one day after he was arrested for suspected drunk driving. The mayor's office says Chief Joseph Murray has been placed on administrative leave. Now, body cam footage of the incident was released after Murray was pulled over on Telegraph near Dartmouth. He apparently refused a breathalyzer test and was taken for a blood draw instead. So far, those numbers have not been released.
A woman in her 90s very lucky after her roof actually collapsed while she was sleeping in her Dearborn home.
When you see how close it was that she was to danger, you'll be surprised. And we're so glad to report she's okay. But her family is urgently looking for answers as to how and why this happened. Fox News' Charlie Langton takes us there.
This is weird, isn't it?
So weird, so weird.
Weird, but true. Tuesday night around 9:45, 93-year-old Salima just got ready to turn in for the night when all of a sudden it appears the fan falls to the ground, and so does the ceiling in her Dearborn home.
Like a bump. It's like crushed to two pieces, the ceiling. I don't know.
Nobody really knows why the ceiling fell. She's only been renting the house for about 3 years and never had a problem with the ceiling. I called who I thought was the landlord, but he was in a meeting and he was going to get back to me. I'm still waiting.
When you look at inside, what's going through your mind?
Yeah, like, oh my God. When she told me today, I don't know what happened. What did she fall in the ceiling?
So we're not exactly sure about how this happened, but it looks like the fan collapsed. But we're not sure. The fan may have been installed from up there, but man, there's a lot of dust in here. Obviously, the inspector's going to have to come, and they're on the way to inspect this house, but this is not livable. Family members say Salima was taken to the hospital and received x-rays to her ribs and arms. She had cuts on her face and was given oxygen, but she'll be okay.
And I see my grandma in the hospital. Oh, my God. It's bad news.
The family tells me that they are meeting with an attorney to discuss their options, but could have been really worse.
Yeah. So worse.
In Dearborn, Charlie Langton, Fox 2 News.